Professor, in terms of the committees in Parliament. Yesterday, not even recently, yesterday, Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, the majority leader, together with the minority leader, Junet Mohammed, have joined hands. And their cry from yesterday has been that the former budget chair committee, that is Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, the member of parliament of Kiharu, allocated more money to his constituency more than other members of other constituents. So the question that they were asking, you should tell us, how can a member of parliament use 100 million that they are given per year through the CDF to build up classes, to paint classes, to put up cabros, to offer free education in their constituency and all that? What is your take in regards to that?
First of all, who was their audience? They were trying to tell their constituents excuses for no development. Member of parliament, is it Suba North or Suba South?
Yes,
Junet?
Suba East.
Suba East.
Yeah. Suna East.
Suna East.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen him in his constituency? If you ask him how many classrooms are there in his constituency, does he know?
No.
So why do you listen to such a person who has failed his own constituents? I'm happy for Ichung'wah. I'm sure if you come from his constituency, you will be happy. If you come from Kiharu, you'll be happy. People from Kiharu are celebrating that, to reveal to them that at least for them who stopped them from taking control of the budget. But let me put that aside. The audience were trying to see these guys were giving excuses. These people of UNET are trying to justify why they are joining Ruto's government. Those are narratives that we know. Secondly, they're trying to justify why they are taking control of the committees. Now they want their constituents to support them to join an evil government, thinking they'll build classrooms. Now, time will tell, isn't it? The committees will dead the election, isn't it? Let UNET become the chair of the budget committee, isn't it? Let us see how much money it takes to Suna East. These are narratives of people who are anti-development. Nyanza is the poorest region behind Turkana in terms of poverty levels. But have you been to Nyanza? I come from there. The problem that is causing in Nyanza is that Nyanza elects the poorest leaders because Raila carries their hands. Raila is a good guy because he supports them, but he doesn't. These people do not use the opportunity to help their people. So that's part of the narrative, isn't it? The second part of the narrative is that these are dogs who have been set against Ndindi Nyoro. Ndindi Nyoro is among the most performing and the most sober MP from Mount Kenya. In fact, Ndindi Nyoro has the potential even to lead this country. Ndindi Nyoro is more educated than those people. Ndindi Nyoro worked for an investment bank. Do you know I'm an investment banker? Do you know the highest level of banking is an investment banker? For example, you enter a bank as a teller, isn't it? Then you can even go to trade financing, or you can even go to credit control, isn't it? Credit control is easy. Just knowing the interest rate, who is charged what, those are easy. But investment banker knows how to go to the capital market, get money, and invest this money somewhere and make money for the bank. Can you imagine how the economy is tough now? You know where to get money. You put in an investment vehicle and make returns for those people and also for your bank. That's where Ndindi Nyoro is. Ndindi Nyoro is not in their level. In fact, for one reason why I want to applaud the president, for me, I'm objective every day. Putting Ndindi Nyoro as chair of budget, that was a brilliant thing. The only thing is that he didn't allow Ndindi Nyoro to use his intelligence to help the country, but Ndindi Nyoro is among the best. Gina Mbaru, who owned Diane Blair, had Ndindi Nyoro as a manager in Diane Blair. He worked for Diane Blair. We don't look at those MPs work nowhere. Like William Ruto came from University of Nairobi to Youth for Kanu 92 to an MP to minister, then president, isn't it? Did he work anywhere? Does he not report to a boss? That's why he wakes up and go on top of the car. He doesn't know how to go to office.
He was an evangelist.
So Kenyans don't elect anybody who doesn't know how to go to an office. He has an office in Rambe Avenue, isn't it? Yeah. Have you ever seen him there? In State House ni propaganda mingi, sivyo? Then akitoka hapo juu ya gari, sivyo? When does he work? Before, he was always on a flight, isn't it? He does not work. So Ndindi Nyoro is not allowed. So Ndindi Nyoro, they have set themselves against Ndindi Nyoro to insult him. Let us respect leaders irrespective of which region they come from. So there are two narratives there. I've told you. One, they are trying to excuse themselves. Two, they are being set. Gachagua said they usually write notes. So those notes were written by William Ruto to those MPs because they are being paid. That speech was paid. A paid advertisement can be told, isn't it? Yes, something which is national news we know. But that's a paid advertisement. It was paid for. And the other thing I want to tell you, that what those people, whatever they are thinking about, they should be prosecuted as members of parliament. According to me, they broke the law. They are doing oversight. They knew that. If they knew Ndindi Nyoro was taking money to Kiharu constituency only, what did they do? They kept quiet. So that is violation of the people. I'm asking people sooner is to think twice about re-electing Junet Mohammed. I want you to elect a young person there who do not have those historical issues. That's what I'm asking Gen Z, young people. It's our moment. We are not going to be young forever. Don't be cheated. After 5 years, we exit. We are no longer youth. You understand? Yeah. Me, I'm not a youth. I'm youthful. We have agreed that millennials, Gen Xs, and the Gen Zs are the same generation, more or less, because we've gone through the same thing. The lost generation, that's up to them. But for me, I'm asking young people, come out in Suna East. I can spend my time to campaign for you, to take up that seat, because you cannot be telling people that money was being taken to Biharu and you are quiet. How easy is it for the chairman of budget, which means does parliament have procedures of passing budget that somebody can do what they want? As an economist, we say you quit on a process, you quit on results. So what is the budget process that someone can put? Let me ask you, even Treasury, the money is not awarded by Ndindi Nyoro, isn't it? So how would you be, as Minister for Finance, maybe put 10 times in one constituency and 1 time in one constituency? How possible is it?
Doesn't make sense.
It does not make sense. The audit, let us hear from the auditor to answer that question, because for now, Junet is out of order. I even wondered how the speaker allowed such allegation to take place in his sitting. That is incompetence. Because the speaker has been passing the budget, isn't it? The budget is passed in parliament.
Yeah.
The budget committee works on it. The main committee is parliament, isn't it? Parliamentarians were not seeing this report from the budget committee. Why were they not raising questions? This speech was an ad which was paid for to hit at Ndindi Nyoro and to justify why they are joining government.
Now, as you conclude in terms of the National Assembly, let me ask you, in regards to the Constitution, is it appropriate that the minority leader and the majority leader connive to just be speaking for the government and not for the people of the Republic?
First of all, let me tell you one, Jeff. It's not even supposed to be that. It's not even supposed that the minority and majority speak. Not even majority only or minority only. I've told you we have the current members of parliament who don't even understand the constitution of Kenya. They were elected on a wave, and they don't know their work. Because the 2010 constitution is very clear. The opposition is not a party. Opposition is parliament. Parliament in entirety is the opposition. You get my point?
Yeah.
Who is the leader of opposition? There is none. Why? Because parliament as a whole is the opposition. In the previous government, when we had the parliamentary system, that's when we had majority and minority, government side and opposition. Isn't it? Yeah. Leader or majority in parliament, there are terms being used just to show which party is leading, but they are not sides of the other. So both minority and majority should not speak for government. They should actually oversight the government. They have lost their oversight role. They are still operating on the pre-2010 constitution. That's why we want to replace this parliament with all that history. There's what we call legacy problems. As an economist, I also know a bit of IT. I know you're better than me in IT because you're a Gen Z. There's what we call active knowledge forgetting. For you to do something well, you need to forget about what was there, isn't it? Yes. For example, if you had a wife or if you have a girlfriend, isn't it, who treated you very badly, isn't it? For you to enjoy the new girlfriend, you have to forget about that other one. Can you imagine you are in bed with your wife and you're thinking about the other woman? Are you seeing how that works? So, this parliament cannot actively forget their past. Their past is haunting them. So, there's a devil in parliament which is haunting these people. That's why we went and destroyed the mace, isn't it? So, we're asking this. These people need to go home and we want fresh blood in parliament, fresh blood in the Senate, fresh blood in the county assembly, fresh blood in state house. And then those experiences they have, they should look to advise us. You get me? We as young people should take over the government. Then these people should advise us. Because at the moment we have 3 levels of government. Kuna serikali gushi, fake government. Because it is fake how? When majority and minority are in government, isn't it? Fake because we voted for 2 sides, Azimio and Kenya Kwanza. One side got 6.9 million. The other one got 7.1 million. Together it's 14 million. So whether you voted this side or that one, they are in one government. It's like Kenyans didn't vote, or at least Kenyans voted for one party. That's a single party government, isn't it? And Kenya is a multi-party democracy. So we're actually having a single party democracy. So that the government is fake. We call it serikali gushi. Alafu tuna wale wengine wanasema wao ni bora serikali tumeunda, sivyo? So nawajua. There are some gangsters who met somewhere and said they are going to nominate one of the gangster to remove for us the chief gangster, isn't it? So why should we be moving from this gangster to another gangster? So I'm telling you, my brother, the political formation has not taken place. Wait for 28th of April this month, we begin the process of forming the next government. The faces that will form the next government are beginning on 28th at Fungamano. You are going to see more than 300 candidates from different parts of the country for different positions. Governor, MCA, MP, senator, women rep, and presidential candidates. All of them have been invited to come. So if you know anyone who has ambition to run for any office, there's no better place to be than Ufungamano House. And we don't want to talk about these people. We want to talk about what we want to offer the country. And I can tell you for now, we have agreed that our economic vision will be called Taifa ya Ustawi. Taifa ya Ustawi is a welfare state. What's a welfare state? A welfare state is a state where education is free, healthcare is free, infrastructure investment is good, isn't it? And anybody is given access to have a job. The government must provide an environment that everybody can be employed. That's what happened in the US. The US provides an environment where everyone can get a job. So if you don't get, you are compensated. China does the same. Japan does the same. But let's not compare too much. Go to Rwanda. That's what they're doing. Go to, for example, before Gaddafi died, he was there in Libya. Ethiopia has begun the journey. Kenya, we are still printing chapati. Do you know, by the way, Jeff, if more than 50% of your income goes to food, you're a poor person. That's how we measure poverty economically. Because you should be investing some of the money. If more than 50% of your income is going into food, you are poor because you should be investing more of the money into other things. So why I'm opening for you this one here in my phone, I want to show you our model. Because for us as young people, we don't talk too much. Our model is called Evolve. Evolve. Evolve is a six-letter word, isn't it? The first word is E, economic turnaround. So when we take over government, we shall do quickly economic turnaround in 3 months. You get me? Don't be told that economy needs to take 6 years. No. Do you know if you're having blood pressure, when you get treated, your blood pressure needs to reverse within 30 hours, isn't it? Because the reversal takes place in not more than 3 months. Economic cycle is a quarter. When you talk about economic quarters, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, an economy can turn around in 1 quarter, which is 3 months. So economic turnaround, that's where the debt issue will be solved, isn't it? That's where the economic activity will come in. We'll work on the supply side of the economy. I don't want to explain too much because of time. The second one, which is V, is called value generation. What's value generation? We will not do budgeting the way this will do budgeting. There is a segment called budgeting according to Solomonic economics. You go to Embu, or you go to Meru and look at Meru, because I know Meru more than Embu. You go to Meru and see they do bananas, isn't it? How can Meru produce more bananas, isn't it? And how can this banana get quickly to the market? I was in Karatina over Saturday, and I found grains that are coming from Meru, isn't it? How can you produce more of those grains from Meru, and how can they reach quickly Karatina market so that people coming from Nairobi who are going to visit their parents in Madeira can buy them and take them there? Because that's how economy works, isn't it? So value generation. You go, for example, to Taita Taveta, where they are mining gold and some other things, isn't it? How can you improve the people who are doing artisanal miners in Taita Taveta, isn't it? You go to Migori the same way, where those people who say they are not receiving money come from. Migori, there is gold in Migori, and people are very poor in Migori. Homa Bay has the worst life expectancy in the country, which means if you live in Homa Bay, you are more likely to die than any other county. The county with the best life expectancy is Bomet. So if you go to Bomet, you'll find older people who are living more healthy. It's more because of the food they eat. It's also more to do with the environment, the terrain, because you can walk up and down, you stretch your legs. But anyway, sorry for another day. The next one is E, called optimize talent. You see these young people that Ruto was tear gassing and shooting and abducting. Some of them had knowledge in AI, isn't it? And SHA cannot be owned by Kenya, isn't it? And no one has a solution to the system in SHA, isn't it? University funding model can't work. Put those guys in a room and let them give you a solution. The e-citizen, which is owned by a private person, why don't you get young people to manufacture that? I would ensure that University of Nairobi become a hub of research. Young people given funding to do research, to solve economic problems in Kenya. Optimize talent. Kenyans are so talented. Can you imagine? They said Chapati in 1 minute. The whole media was awash with AI Chapatis. In fact, the young people have already printed the Chapati before Ruto printed them, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there's talent. So talent in sports. You see how young people are suffering in sports. No funding. Sometimes you need to go and play in the US. There's no money. Sports, music, arts, technology. Those ones are where you can optimize talent and put money on it and put investment in it. So that's the O. The next one is L. Leverage strategic partnership. There are so many people who want to do business with Kenya, but corruption stops them. Somebody wants to set up a manufacturing plant for pharmaceuticals. But what happens? Who'll allow them? You're being told, give me 1 billion before, give me this before. You see, Adani, those people who are bribed before even they came here. So they lost all the bribes they gave Adani. Adani has lost money. So if you want to do airport, have a strategic partnership, not with foreigners building your airport. You ask them to invest in Nairobi Stock Exchange. You can use strategic investors to come and put their shares, but it's owned by Kenya. We have people who want to build hospitals in Kenya, but corruption cannot allow them. We have people who want to build education infrastructure in Kenya, but they won't be allowed because corruption is a big problem, because these are dealers. These are not leaders. They are dealers. You get me? Mm-hmm. The next V is vulnerability management. There are so many vulnerable people, children, women, people with disability. Some people have no water. Some people have no access to different things. They are vulnerable. Anybody vulnerable, another way we shall ensure how they are put into the economy. And the last call, environmental stewardship. Our environment needs stewardship, not planting 10 billion trees because it's impossible. I told them, if you plant 10 billion trees, the trees will drink all the water, all Kenyans will die in one day. So it's impossible. And even geographically, Kenya is 582,000 kilometers square. And that one, if you put all those trees, it cannot fit in the country geographically. So these guys are mad. So what I'm trying to say is that we are very clear about what we want to do. And we put this in Solomonic Economics book. And why we want to take over government is that we have gone to television and told them for 10 years they have never listened. And of course, we are being told that you cannot be able to delegate your vision. You can give me that book I show you, the book just behind you. That's the Solomonic Economics book, this one here. There's a chapter on how you need to do budgeting, how to manage regional economic blocks. Do you know, during Azimio, I was part of even the launch of the Azimio regional manifesto. But have this for end of government and start implementing, the implementation is moving around Nairobi, printing Chapati. That is I don't know whether that was in Ruto's manifesto or it was Raila's manifesto. I don't know. But truth be said, that the country is in the wrong hands. And not that we don't know. If they tell us we have no experience, we shall tell them our experience are the people. Because if I go to your mother in the village, your grandmother will tell me what they want, isn't it? Yeah. Why should I consult these people who only know how to steal? The consultants in State House know how money can be swindled. They have no consultant who know economics. So you said David D was there to run the Economic Council. Yeah. Then why did Ruto need experts from Azimio? Then he was there setting up Apiro Limited to be the part of SHA, isn't it? Yeah. So who owns SHA? Apiro Limited, isn't it? Yeah. Through the connection in UAE, through his lawyer. Mm. So what we are saying, there's evidence, and I can tell you, we are not afraid, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Even when you broadcast this one, don't be afraid. Mm-hmm. We died a long time ago. We're only waiting for them to give our death certificate, then you enter our grave. Because there's nothing we're scared about. And young people lost their fear a long time ago. The only thing we postponed, the part of going to the street. But when election comes in 2027, it will be fire. And I end by telling young people, don't listen to the narrative. Anybody, our mothers, our grandmothers, our grandfathers, don't listen to the narrative that Ruto will win the election anyway. No. It's a narrative he's telling you so that you buy. Because if you buy, you won't vote. A low voter turnout is really a Ruto second term. A high voter turnout, Ruto is home. Period. Because let me tell you, my brother, 8 million Kenyans did not vote in the last election, isn't it? Yeah. Ruto can only get 5% of those people. Isn't it? Mm-hmm. So that's stock we have, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Out of the 7.1 million votes he got, he can only get maybe 15%, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Who will get those votes? Us, isn't it? Raila Odinga got 6.9, isn't it? Campaigning for Ruto in Nyanza, he can, in all his stuff, he can only get maybe, if it's a lot of 25%, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Where are those votes going? You get me? Mm-hmm. The new registered voters will be like 80% Gen Z, isn't it? Any vote for Gen Z is against it. So for Ruto to win the election, he needs to steal like almost 15 million votes. Actually, I said 16.5 million votes he needs to steal, isn't it? Now, if you do the maths, isn't it? And those votes must be stuffed, isn't it? So 16.5 million votes, isn't it? Polls open at 6. They close at 6, isn't it? So divide by 12, isn't it? So he needs to steal 1.3 million votes per hour from 6 to 6. It is arithmetically impossible. And I end by saying, everything is possible with enough money, enough luck, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And enough luck. Everything is possible with enough money, enough luck, isn't it? And but who has this? You may have money, you may have resources if you like, isn't it? No, everything is possible. Everything is possible with enough money, enough time, and enough luck, isn't it? So on time side, he does not have it because 1.3 million votes per hour you cannot generate unless it's a machine again to print Chapati. If Chapati votes, he can do. Then luck, God is not on his side. That's why everything is slipping aside. He tries not working. Nothing is working. Even AUC is not working. Even Chapati will not work. So there's no luck. And I can tell you, money he can have, isn't it? And you need 3.
As we complete or as we wrap it up, recently, last Friday, the agreement was signed between Raila Amolo Odinga and William Ruto. Now, the finalizing of the agreement, it is for Raila Amolo Odinga, as it was rumored, to be a co-president to William Ruto, and also for the opposition to be absorbed into what? Into Ruto's government. Now, Raila Amolo Odinga's first visit, 48 hours later after signing of the contract in Kisii, became chaotic. Raila Amolo Odinga was heckled for the first time in history. And then yesterday, Raila Amolo Odinga made a U-turn in his statement, saying that William Ruto came to me. He said that SHA isn't working. He said that housing tax levy is something that shouldn't be there for the people of the Republic of Kenya. So, what is your understanding in regards to this and the whole shenanigans that Raila Amolo Odinga is playing with William Ruto? Could Raila Amolo Odinga be the direct ticket for William Ruto home? And that being my first question. My second question is in regards to according to the Western Alliance, the Mulembe nations. We had Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula in Ruto's government. With the coming in of Raila Amolo Odinga in this government, where does these people lie? My third question and my to wrap it up is in regards to the politics of Nairobi County. Raila Amolo Odinga has recently been hand endorsing Governor Sakaja. There is Babu Owino. There is Sifuna. What is your take in regards to this? And why is Raila Amolo Odinga not following William Ruto in his current campaign around Nairobi, and they recently signed their deal?
First of all, on the Raila Odinga trying to say these things, I think he has not said anything different. He's still saying that even if SHA is not working, this is not working, William Ruto is the one who came to him, isn't it? I'm sure when you go to heaven, isn't it? And you have committed fornication, can you say, it's not me who went to the girl, but the girl came to me? Either way is fornication, isn't it? Raila has slept with the devil, and he has laid his bed. He must sleep on it. You understand? He arrived from AU, landed in Nairobi from Addis Ababa, looked on the side and saw Kenyans hungry, no SHA, they are very sick, they are dusty, they are completely disillusioned, they are waiting for Raila to come to their side. And I look on this side and saw a red carpet, everything done, plane tickets, everything, tappings of power, and he chose this side. And we said the route to heaven is paved with to hell is paved with good intentions. So he took the route to hell with the red carpet, isn't it? I'm sure when you're going to heaven, my brother, you want to walk on the red carpet. Yes, and he chose the red carpet. He left us with our dust. And so be it. So for me, he had already taken the turn. Hizo sasa ni kudanganya watu. Because also he went to Kisumu and started consulting elders. Luo elders were in Nairobi when he was consulting Luo elders in Kisumu. I was with them here in Nairobi. So it's neither here nor there. So for me, he has chosen to be on that side, isn't it?
Can we be having a co-president?
Yeah, of course.
Have power more than William Ruto right now?
No, we are going to go there. When Raila came, people told him, why don't you join with other opposition and impeach this man and become president, isn't it?
Yeah.
Raila feels he's president already because he makes presidential appointments, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like now, in the next thing I'm going to answer later, all these ministers will start reporting to Raila. Do you remember there's a time when Raila was in government and Anne Waiguru used to run to Raila to save her when she was a CS? So those times are coming. Those times are coming. You'll see those times. Every script that was there will going to be repeated, if not worse. You get me?
Yes.
So that is understood, his position. So whether Ruto came to him or he went to Ruto, they have sinned, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we don't want to know who went to who.
Yeah.
Because I have a choice to tell you, don't come to my place. Yes, the phone call was made and he went. So that is sorry for another. On the issue of heckling in Kisii or something of that matter, you know, there's a donkey that carried Jesus when Jesus entered Jerusalem, isn't it?
Yeah.
And when the donkey arrived with Jesus, the donkey was welcomed. People put their clothes for the donkey to walk on, isn't it? Then the donkey went alone, isn't it? When the donkey went alone, the donkey was beaten, was harassed, and not given even food, isn't it? People have always perceived Raila to be the one carrying the people's hopes, the one who is the voice of the people. Now that voice of the people has gone to the Gen Z. It has come to us. We're the one now speaking the voice of the people. So forever, he will go anywhere people never listen to him because he's no longer the voice of the people. Even in Kiambu, it was a funeral, that's why they didn't, isn't it? In our culture, even if the person who has killed your relative comes for the relative's funeral, you still allow them to give their condolences. It's allowed, isn't it? But he is not people's voice. The people's voice now is the Gen Z, is the young people. And I'm telling them, let us not just speak, let us also act. By running for offices, by voting for ourselves. We are saying, vote for one of us, not one of them. Anybody with the old playbook, if you look about the Moi playbook, will never be elected. They should all go home. Not because we hate them. I think we need a break from the Moi playbook. Let us have a Gen Z playbook running State House next. And now, if you ask the question about the issue of co-president, Raila has always been the fifth. In 2022, when I was asking in Bomas, who is the fifth, I said there will be two fifths. Ruto will be the fifth president, isn't it? And Raila will be in his fifth handshake. Therefore, both of them are fifthing, isn't it? They are fifthing, both of them. This is fifthing, this fifthing. So presidency is a moving target. There's a moment it's Raila, a moment with Ruto. Like when Raila was in AU, it was completely with Ruto. Immediately Raila lost AU, it came to Raila, isn't it? So it's a moving target. And Ruto, so long as Baba is happy, Ruto rather remains the de jure president, as Raila remains the de facto president. And that comes very soon now, with what will happen in Moses Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi. Raila will soon be unveiled as the prime CS. He will take over Musalia Mudavadi's office. Musalia Mudavadi will move to the Minister for Foreign Affairs office. Raila will become the Minister for what it's called public service. The ministry that is run by Justin Muturi. That's why Justin Muturi has been left until Raila comes in, then he goes home, because he was meant to go home anyway, after the statements he made. Then Raila already has been given the title Prime Minister, so he does not have to repeat it. So even in all papers will be Prime Minister. He'll get a serious presidential escort running him. Presidential, I mean the status of the president. He will be given in his motorcade.
Not the status
security
of the minister.
No. Status of the president. So that's what makes him co-president. He will run in motorcade. His security will be more beefed up. And because people don't want even to hurt him, I don't know why, because Raila is people's president, isn't it? So you don't need too much security. But he will be given for the paraphernalia. People like paraphernalias. And the state is going to cough more money to keep Raila in that office, because it's cheaper to keep Musalia Mudavadi in that office than to keep Raila in that office. Because no, Raila likes space. Raila is Raila Odinga, so he has to be given all that. So that's not being a problem to me. For me, my problem to me is that we elected William Ruto, who should look at the priority of Kenyans before looking at the priority of others. But Ruto thinks that his priority is to look after Raila so that he can really take care of the citizens. But it could be nice if the interests of Raila and the citizens fly in the same direction. But now, the interest of the citizens is opposite direction to that of Raila. And therefore, this is a wrong calculation. And it's going to be doomed to fail. So what I can tell William Ruto, just wait for a moment.
What if Raila joins you as the Gen Z a few months to 2027?
As advisors, because for us very soon, the vehicle will leave the station. The train will leave the station. We'll have a captain. What we have agreed is that we don't just want to replace William Ruto. We want to bring in a better leader. And that better leader will be taken by the people. In fact, we have agreed there's nothing like boardroom consultation. We'll do our primaries and produce a candidate from the people who will take over these people. Now we have almost 8 people who want to run for president. And they're all going to agree. Because I've told you there are 2 kikundi tatu. Serikali gushi, hiyo ya kina William, sivyo? Bora serikali unawajua, sivyo? Alafu sisi tunasema serikali bora. Serikali bora ambayo italeta uongozi mbadala. Sivyo? Uongozi mbadala, serikali mbadala, maisha iwe badala, afya badala, uchumi badala, elimu badala, inchi badala, maisha badala, raha badala. Sisi ni mbadala tu. Ukisema tu mbadala, hiyo ndio serikali yetu. Cause tushangalia jamaa kuanzia mwanzo mpaka leo, we want to show them that we love this country. William Ruto told us that we were unpatriotic tukimwambia awache mambo ya airport, sivyo? We want to rule this country to prove to him sisi ndio wazalendo, sio yeye. We are the patriots of this country. Our generation is only selfless. In fact, no one is fighting for that position. It will be given to somebody. Anyone who gets it through the right means, we shall support that person to the last minute. And it doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be people like Okia. This thing has invited myself. Okia is invited. Maraga is invited. Paul Kigame is invited. Joe Mugacha is invited. Anybody who has interest, no matter how young you are, don't look down upon yourself. Just come, because you never know. David was picked as the least among the many, and he led Israel. So for us, we just know that so long as when you for us, we are just saying the coalition of the principles. Principle, I mean that, not principle. Coalition based on principle, not coalition based on convenience. Ya serikali gushi ni convenience, sivyo? Si convenience. Hiyo ingine ya bora serikali sio ni convenience, sivyo? Na hii yetu ni principle. Integrity will never ever be negotiated. In fact, I even like what we are saying. We are not going to tell you, oh, EACC. We are going to call things by name. If you stole public money, hatutasema corruption, tunasema theft. You know, when you call theft corruption, you sanitize it, you sugarcoat it. If you steal public money, it is theft. There's what called disconscientizing yourself. You kill your conscience so that you do the right thing. For example, when I was in high school, in St. Mary's, the people used to steal tea in the dining hall. So they call it, I was raiding, not stealing. You are stealing tea, my brother. Hata leo ndio taongea na my brothers Masai people, sivyo? Masai wanaiba ng'ombe alafu nasema ati cattle rustling. No, it is stealing cattle. Because when you call it cattle rustling, it is not a sin, sivyo? Yeah, let's call it theft. You stolen public money, you should be arrested and charged in court by OCS. Do you know what is happening? Somebody stole a chicken. Have you ever seen EACC investigating someone who stole a chicken?
No. No.
But when someone has stolen billions of shillings, they are taken through EACC. Kwani hiyo ni special court ya nani? EACC should be disbanded and that budget reversed so that people can be prosecuted. Secondly, there's an article we want to kill in the Constitution, whereby Constitution says that so long as you have not exhausted all possible avenues of defending yourself in court, you can still run for office even if you're a thief. You are a thief, man, go. Like now, even you hear some people who are impeached, they can wait and run after 10 years, isn't it? Kwani sasa, if it is true that they were thieves, isn't it? 10 years is for what? Wamechomwa na moto ya binguni mpaka ikaisha. Wizi ikaisha. Let us call things by name. Integrity is the biggest challenge Kenyans need. Integral leader. You just need to have the right person in State House and all Kenyans' right will be delivered. Thank you.
Can you wrap up for us about the politics of Nairobi?
Now, the politics of Nairobi, first of all, which kind of governor does Nairobi want? Nairobi does not want a good politician. Unfortunately for Nairobi, they have never had a governor. Kidero was more of a medical guy who came in and did business in Nairobi and left, isn't it? Sonko just thrived on popularity of trying to criticize what? Sonko had no any idea of management, isn't it? Nairobi has never got a better governor than even some other counties. Can you imagine Kangata of Murang'a? Murang'a is a small county. Is getting a better governor than Nairobi. Nairobians. So Nairobi should change from Nairobians, not from the governor. Because Jim Nambaru presented himself, isn't it? Wakasema hajui siasa. Sasa kujua siasa ndio nini? People need to understand that the governor position is an executive role. It's not a political role. When you are running on top of vehicles with William Ruto that you are doing Chapati, that person should never see. So Sakaja should not be. I don't support Sakaja. People have talked highly about Tim Wanyonyi, isn't it? Yeah. Babu Owino, I don't know his case because that is a different case because Babu Owino has been an MP. It's difficult to measure him in Nairobi as a governor. Also, and Tim Wanyonyi has been a businessman. Tim Wanyonyi has been in office. He knows how to execute things, isn't it? Where did Babu Owino work after university?
He went direct to parliament.
So what extent does he have to do executive role? So I'm sure, I'm not saying he has to have, isn't it? But these are questions. Me, I'm not saying who is bad, because also as a leader, it's not good to dismiss people. It's good to give everybody a chance. But the question is coming clearly that whom would you trust among them? I would trust more Tim Wanyonyi because it's been seen he's more of an executor. If you talk about somebody like Sifuna,
Tuju was.
Yeah, Tuju, I've heard that story. Tuju can run this county. But the issue is, do you know that the county government of Nairobi, the State House, has a lot of interest? That's why always, everyone who is the president always wants to win Nairobi County. So, but me, I'm asking the people of Nairobi. If Nairobi is the heartbeat of Kenya, the economic hub of Kenya, how can Nairobi not get the best governor? The CEOs operate in Nairobi here, the one running banks, isn't it? Jimmy Nambaru was an investment banker, isn't it? A very seasoned businessman, isn't it? Why don't you even get somebody like the CEO James Mwangi from Equity Bank? Why don't you get someone like Joshua Gara? But you'll tell them they don't know how to talk politics because you want someone to lie to you.
Why didn't they then choose Peter Kenneth?
Well, simply said, Peter Kenneth had his own issues as well, because Peter Kenneth had other issues also at Kenya Insurance. If you do investigations, you can do, because I'm not here to, because I know I don't want to bring my enemies here. For me, my common enemy is William Ruto.
Yeah.
Babu Owino is a very promising leader. He has made some mistakes in the past. The issue is how much has he reconciled with that past? Because also, I'm not here to say Babu Owino because he's a Luo like me. Babu Owino is a brother. We talk. We are in talking terms. But Babu Owino has a potential. Which path should he take? Unfortunately for Babu Owino, he was made by Raila. Now, his father has taken a wrong turn, isn't it? How does he navigate that without losing his own path? That's the big, difficult situation. And if he navigates that well, then he comes out as a leader. Because leaders are born out of crisis. Myself, who is sitting here, I've seen many crises in life. That's why I take life as it is, because I've seen a lot of crises in life, and that has made me. So, questions goes to, how is he able to navigate this current crisis? Like even Sifuna looked very independent-minded, but he's inside ODM.
Yeah.
and there's no independent mindedness inside ODM. How does he look independent while being in ODM? If it is the merger, he's the one who read the speech.
Yeah.
And he said those has been developed and agreed, isn't it? Now he cannot again turn back and say that he doesn't know what's happening.
I was forced.
Yes, and then lastly, Baba has still another bullet in Nairobi. Because Baba told Sakaja, as I go to AU, I leave you in Nairobi. But now he's not gone, he's back. So he can change his mind and say, now that I'm back, let me reorganize Nairobi. Because that blessing was when he went to AU.
When I go to AU.
Isn't it? Just like Jesus said, in my Father's house there's enough room. Isn't it? Then Jesus actually died. Isn't it? And he was buried, and he went. Isn't it? So actually the rooms are there. Isn't it? But for Raila, the rooms in AU are locked. Addis Ababa, he was supposed to have a full residence. He's not there. So Baba is here. So now that Raila is here, he can change his mind. So I think that endorsement was, we don't sound to tell Babu Owino, my brother. Take advantage and tell Sakaja. The endorsement was when Baba got AU. And Baba didn't get what? AU. Now let's start again, isn't it? Now that Baba is here to chase a harper, and I'll tell Baba Owino, don't be discouraged. Because there's people who hope on you. Yeah, give it your all. Don't sit back. Don't think it's a done deal. I'm sure Babu Owino is looking at the money Sakaja has, but I can tell him also that there's a way he can play his cards. But for me, I'm not interested in any of them. Because as far as I know it, they still belong to the Wale. They are them, we are we. Me, I've never been to Parliament, I've never been to Senate, but I want to go to politics now. And I want to present my candidature to my team. If they select me as a presidential candidate, there they will see who I am. And I'm not saying that just because I'm ambitious. I have gone to document what we can do for this country in terms of turnaround. And as you cannot delegate your vision, should they give me a chance to implement my vision, like Lee Kuan Yew, they will see a transformed Kenya. Should they give it to somebody else? I don't have to be the president. I'm a professor. I'll take my books again, take a chalk and a pen, and go back to class. Because professors, you can teach until forever, because I got my PhD when I was 28 and a half. And I still have a lot of years. Professors retired 75. I'm not yet 50. So I still have time. So it's just me looking at 2027. As soon as I see results are not in my favor, I say, Kenya, thank you very much. I take my books and pen and a chalk and go back to class, and life goes on, because I can feed my family with or without money from the government. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor.
Yeah.